So let's get back to Eric Adams. This mayor who is a Democrat, but he spews conservative and Republican talking points. At the end of the day, we have a name for someone like this, and this is someone we call a coon, right?
Do you know what they call black people who are conservative, who are speaking from a conservative base, who are speaking from a value system that's based on the word of God? You know what they call people like me? A coon. Today, Newsome, the BLM Black Lives Matter leader in New York City, called Eric Adams. Now, mind you, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, he's a Democrat. He's a progressive Democrat. He just recently relieved a Christian teacher of her duties on his educational task force because of the values that she's expressed. But nevertheless, because Eric Adams had the audacity to speak the truth when it comes to Black Lives Matter, and where is Black Lives Matter protesting when babies are being shot? Where is Black Lives Matter when small businesses that are owned by black people are being burned, and small businesses that are owned by black people are going under because of the corporatocracy, because of globalism? Where is Black Lives Matter? Because Eric Adams had the audacity to do that, he was labeled a coon. And not just a coon, Newsome gave you the definition of what a coon means to him. Watch.
Where are all those who stated Black Lives Matter? If Black Lives Matters, then the thousands of people I saw on the street when Floyd was murdered should be on the street right now stating that the lives of these black children that are dying every night matters. We can't be hypocrites.
The subject is African Americans. I would also argue white lives matter too. Everybody's life matters here. What the mayor contends, though, is that the same reaction is not given. What would you say to him?
It was smooth the way you threw white lives matter in there. Our problem is when black lives are oppressed and don't receive justice, nobody cares. Nothing happens. Something happens to a white person, the world moves, right? So let's get back to Eric Adams. This mayor who is a Democrat, but he spews conservative and Republican talking points. At the end of the day, we have a name for someone like this, and this is someone we call a coon, right? Because he's a black man, and he's a white man in blackface, and a very conservative-minded white man at that. So what we have is a man with hundreds of people on the city's payroll, billions of dollars in budget, and 40,000 police officers. He has 10 victims in one night. The night before, he had 16 shooting victims on a train. And they say, what are you going to do about policing? And he says, what about BLM? Is America not smart enough to see him deflecting?
So you see a coon to people that think like Newsome, to liberal blacks, the black elite, the BLM crowd, is any black person that is espousing quote unquote white conservative views, very conservative views, as he said. That is the most frustrating thing. And that is why we as black people can never achieve, because we can never have an original thought, according to people like Newsome. We can never have an original thought. What he said was the epitome of white supremacy. That is the epitome of what white people used to say to black folks. Boy, you're getting too uppity. You are getting too uppity. You are out of your place. You know what Newsome was saying to Eric Adams and everybody that thinks along the conservative spectrum, people that believe in biblical values? You guys are out of line. You guys are out of your place. So I have to attack you personally to get you back in line, to intimidate you to shut up and not say anything else. They want to continue the cycle of victimization because they are empowered by that. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. We are the only ones that I know of as black people that we do that to each other. We attack each other. He attacked the man, not based upon the facts of that Black Lives Matter does not and is not about helping the community. No, he did not talk about that. He deflected himself. He did a great job of deflecting the question. But instead, he attacked the man personally. And that is the same attack that all the black liberals use on black people who choose to think for themselves. All the free thinkers, they are labeled coons, they're labeled sellouts, they're labeled Uncle Toms, they're black faces speaking white supremacy, the black faces of white supremacy, black faces speaking white language. All of these negative things, all of these disparaging things are hurled at black people who choose to think for themselves. And it's no wonder why so many black conservatives remain in the closet. So many people who hold biblical values, conservative values, who know that the BLM crowd, the progressives, the Marxists, the communists, and the socialists, the things that they are pushing are detrimental to our society and detrimental to the black community in particular, because things like defund the police and all of that push has done nothing but harm the black community. The homicide rate of blacks increased in 2020, the summer of George Floyd, after all of defund and dismantle and degrade the police rhetoric. That contributed directly to the increase of black deaths because black police officers and police officers in general did not patrol those areas because they were demeaned, because they were degraded, because they were attacked. But yet, you see why so many black conservatives are silent. So many black people are silent when it comes to these things. They are bludgeoned into the closet because of words like this. And people are not strong enough and bold enough to not let this type of rhetoric bother them. But I'm here to tell you, we are not victims. I am not a victim. I am empowered for greatness. And I refuse to let people like Newsome and anybody else shame me or bludgeon me or demean me or do whatever they want to do to make me shut up. I will not shut up. I will continue to speak the truth in a loving way. I will continue to tell this story. I will, because people need to hear it. My people need to hear it. This generation needs to hear it. There is another way. Not the way of the progressive, not the way of the Marxists, not the way of the communists, not the way of the socialists, not the way of BLM, but the way of God. That is the way. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. So it doesn't matter what they call me. It doesn't matter what they call us. We stand on truth. And we will stand on truth no matter who likes it. And we will speak the truth no matter who likes it. Because they need to hear it. And it will hopefully change their mindset and change their lives. Because the way things are going and the things that they're espousing and the ideology that they're espousing has done nothing but hurt the community. They are being used. They are the puppets of white liberals. They are the puppets. They are being used by white liberals to destroy the black community. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness. Thank you so much for liking and your comments and subscribing to the channel. Please share this with your friends. Smash that like button. Smash the subscription bell. Share this with everybody you know. We're trying to make sure people understand that they're not victims, that they are empowered for greatness, and all of this stuff that's out here that's telling them otherwise is false and will not benefit them in the end. So please, I appreciate that. Share that.